Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I said testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Persona, I'm here, and it definitely feels good to be back. It feels amazing. It feels so great to be back. I'm so happy. It's 2019. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope your New Year's was great. I hope your Christmas was great. I hope your holidays was phenomenal. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. 2018 was an amazing year for gaming. 2019 is going to be an even better year. 2018 was an amazing year for Mog and friends. 2019 is going to be an even better year. And these are facts. I just want to make sure I sound good. Sorry, guys. Hold on. To be an even better. Yes, we are good. I just wanted to make sure the sound was good. That's all. So yes, guys, welcome. El Matador in the building. PlayStation Ghoul, what's good, man? PlayStation Ghoul was here early. How's things, Persona? It's Ian. Yo, Ian, what's good, man? Appreciate you coming through to the podcast, man. I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, guys, this is When Persona Speaks, first episode of 2019, episode 26. And we got some pretty good stuff to talk about tonight, man. It's not going to be that crazy long of a show, because we do have Mog and Friends this weekend as well, which is also going to be amazing, which is also going to be phenomenal. But yeah, we got a lot of good stuff. And what have I been playing with this week? If you follow me on Twitch, then you know that I've been playing a lot of Spyro, the Reignited trilogy that came out a while ago, actually, but I got it. Actually, no, it came out in November, but I got it. I've been playing it. I've been streaming it. I'm trying to get all 3 platinums in that. I'm on the second game now, so yeah, there's that. And that's really all I've been playing this week. I mean, it's my first week back at work, so tiring, trying to get back into the swing of things, trying to get reacclimated with just get reacclimated with work. You guys, for those that work, especially when you work full-time jobs, I think everyone here knows how it is when you're on vacation. Then you come back to work and your body's still in vacation mode, so you kind of sluggish and, you got to get back on your sleep schedule. That's kind of what this whole week was. It's just me trying to get back into, responsible Persona, getting up early and going to sleep early and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, guys, we got a pretty good show. The topics are in the description. So what we're going to be starting off today is with Bungie leaving Activision. Honestly, this one actually threw me off like crazy because I'm at work, I'm working, la-di-da, whatever. And I get a message from a boy, shout out to Demi. And I look at the article and it says Bungie's leaving Activision. Now, I thought this was a troll. I thought, this was like some troll website or something. Or like this was, the article was like some clickbait, like, they're leaving Activision in 5 years, or they're talking about the end, coming up on the end of their, contract cycle or whatever. I didn't think this was like some actual, like, we about to split right now type stuff. So, I went to Bungie's actual site. Let me share my screen for you guys. There we go. Let me make sure. Yeah, you guys should see me. And yeah, okay, cool. So I went to Bungie's actual site, and like, it's official. And this is kind of like I kind of feel 2 ways about this. Just because, Activision has a really, really negative stigma with them. A lot of people don't like Activision. A lot of people don't like Activision, but I don't think people dislike Activision as much as they dislike EA. Thank God, whatever. But there's a negative stigma with Activision where Activision tends to they tend to turn everything that they touch into shit, or microtransactions and all this other stuff. And when it comes to Call of Duty, I feel like Call of Duty is probably till this day I still enjoy Call of Duty, and I feel like Call of Duty to this day is still a franchise that I enjoy and a franchise that I feel is still like one of its best franchises when it comes to what Activision is pumping out content wise. Now, in terms of the deal with Bungie and Activision, let me give you a bit of backstory. So back in, I think it was 2010, Activision, not Activision, Bungie was under Microsoft. And, Bungie is also responsible for the creation of the early Halo games. So, Bungie was working with Microsoft, Microsoft owned them, whatever. And they were, only making Halo. And I think, if I'm right, it's 2010. I might be wrong on the date, but I think it's 2010. So 2010, Bungie, they split from Microsoft, and that's kind of, okay, whatever. That's done. Then they end up getting in bed with Activision. And what they, what the deal entailed. Well, before we get into that, so they leave Microsoft, and the whole reason is because they wanted to do something different. Bungie was tired of making Halo. They wanted to do something different. They wanted to explore other avenues. They had so many great ideas for things that they wanted to do. So they got out of bed with Microsoft, and they got in bed with Activision. And in the response here that they gave, of them leaving, they actually mentioned. Where is it? Yeah, as an independent studio setting out to build a brand new experience, we wanted a partner willing to take a big leap of faith with us. We had a vision for Destiny that we believed in, but the launch of a game of that magnitude, we needed the support of an established publishing partner, which I get. I get that 100%. When it comes to, the vision that they want, especially with Destiny 1, and Destiny 1 had a huge negative stigma, especially at the launch. A lot of it had to do with, the things that we were seeing at the E3s when it came to Destiny wasn't the things that were in Destiny the game. There was a lot of news coming out about they changing the route of how things is getting developed. Things got cut out. Things just wasn't working out with this, that, and the third. So, Destiny getting off the ground was not easy. So I understand Bungie wanting to be under someone that can kind of take the financial blowback that they may potentially get with this brand new IP that might not succeed. Because we have to think about this. And as a business person, not as a gamer, not as a consumer. Let's only think business wise. In this moment, Bungie just left Microsoft, right? When you leave Microsoft, you lose that checkbook. You feel me? You lose them zeros. So what are you gonna do? You have this idea for a massive world, a massive game that you want on all platforms, but you don't want it to be low budget. Not many publishers, even though Bungie is a reputable development team and they have a very, very strong reputation, I can see why Bungie wanted to align themselves with someone that has success in publishing games. Because let's be real here. As much as people hate Call of Duty is still, year after year, a financial success. So Activision, being a $1 billion company, they've got the extra spread to, kind of take the blowback. The financial blowback of this potential failed, new IP that might fail, quote unquote. Now, I feel like part of the reason why this was so easy for so easy for Bungie, so easy for Bungie to kind of get picked up quick like that and really like get a chance like that, because most development teams, Like this right here is, I don't want to call it favoritism, but when you have an established development team, or when you have put out enough games and you've built a rapport with the gaming community, you kind of got a little pull, you know, where, you know, Bungie can go to Activision or whoever and be like, hey, look, we just left Microsoft. We're on the market. We've got this new idea for a game. We need this amount of money. We need this, this, and this. You know, let's work. And again, not a lot of dev teams can do this, but Bungie is one of those few teams that can kind of go into Activision office and make these claims, and Activision would jump on the deal because of, again, the rapport that Bungie has. So, you know, I'm not surprised that Activision decided to take the financial blow, potentially, of a brand new IP coming out the gate from a reputable development team. Now, the issue here, and this is the part that scared me from the beginning when it came to the deal. 10-year deal. When that first got announced, I immediately said, that's completely Activision. Because now Activision's like, okay, we'll take the financial, you know, we'll carry that financial burden. I don't want to call it a burden, but for lack of a better term, we'll call it a burden. We'll take that financial burden, and this is what we expect of you. So now they're giving them the chance to prove themselves, but these are the terms. Now, if anybody knows Activision, you know that Activision is going to always get their money's worth. Activision is always going to get their money's worth. And when I seen the 10-year deal, I automatically knew that, I just knew that this wasn't going to work. I was worried because when they were explaining the 10-year deal, they're saying that, you know, 10-year, they're going to create 10 years worth of game when it comes to Destiny. So, you know, originally I was thinking they were going to treat it like, you know, kind of like World of Warcraft, where, you know, World of Warcraft has been around, what, 12 years now, 11, 12 years, but they've just built on the same game. You know, they're just building upon it. You know, they're making improvements, they're adding expansions, they're doing all these different things. I originally thought that was the route that Bungie, I thought that was the route they were going to take, Bungie and Activision. I thought that was, you know, I figured that would have been the route, and they would have just, you know, continued to do expansions, which I kind of wish they would have done, but we'll speak on the content and stuff in a moment. So when, you know, more details about the deals was coming out, you know, they're showing us the game. The game looks great. We're seeing it at all these different E3s. It's so great, so amazing. Destiny 1 comes out, and we all get it, you know, because, again, a lot of us, and let's be honest here, although, you know, I enjoy the Halos. Halo 2 is, honestly, Halo 2 is my favorite. But, you know, I feel like Bungie being free from Microsoft is what brought even more eyes on them from other people, like, you know, PlayStation dudes, Nintendo dudes, PC dudes, whatever, whoever. Them being free definitely put more eyes on them. Let's be honest. Them being free definitely put more eyes on them. So when they got, you know, when they have Destiny 1 that's about to release, you know, and it's pretty much at the beginning of the next generation, and this is a cross-gen game, PS4, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and you've got this reputable development team behind this. Regardless of how bad it might have reviewed, it was getting 6s and 7s, it was going to sell. It was bound to sell, and I think I think Bungie and I think Activision knew that, just off the merit of Bungie. So you fast forward, you know, into the game. So now we got Destiny 1 that's out. Now more things about the deal are starting to come out, and, you know, they've got to put a new expansion out every year, and they got to keep adding on to the game. Then they have to create a new game every 3 years, or whatever the case may be. now I'm starting to see like, okay, Destiny 1, I'll admit the story of Destiny 1 was not great. When I say story, and this is the issue, people say Destiny isn't a great game. Destiny is a great game, first off. The Destiny 1 the base story for Destiny 1 is not good. I know it. Everyone here knows it. Everyone that picked it up knows it. The base story, we're only talking story. We're not talking end game. We're not talking anything like that. We're only talking story. The base story of the game and how they handled the DLC for Destiny 1, they didn't handle it well because, and that's where you can kind of see the Activision kind of starting to seep into, you know, like, all right, this is a little funny. Because the DLCs weren't great. The first two DLCs, which was House of Wolves, and oh man, what was the other one? I can't remember the other one. I know it was House of Wolves, and it was something else. Yo, Trillwave in the building. What's good, man? Afro in the building. Crotazen, my man, Crotazen. Thank you, appreciate that, Crotazen. So Crotazen and House of Wolves, those were, you play those and you're like, okay, this is stuff that kind of could have been in the game, right? I admit that. Now, fast forward into Taken King, and Taken King was great. You know, they revamped a lot of stuff, and they really, you know, they added a lot of new things, and they pretty much revitalized Destiny 1, and they made Destiny 1, you know, like they really improved on the game, and I feel like had they had more time, this stuff would have been there, I feel like, in day one. But because, you know, they're working on a schedule, they're working on a clock, they got this, you know, Activision behind it, you know, breathing behind them, and, you know, they got deadlines and things to meet. That those all are Activision things. That's not Bungie. And that's why, you know, I kind of felt bad at first because I'm like, damn, I know if Bungie had more time, certain things within Destiny would have been better. Or it would have been better at an earlier time. Because once Taken King came out, the DLCs and stuff like that followed did gradually get better. Ultimately, Taken King is I feel like Taken King is the best DLC. But, you know, Rise of Iron, I like that as well. Even though that felt like more of a filler DLC, it was good. But Destiny was in a great place. It redeemed itself. Bungie was in a great spot. The community behind Destiny was very large, very, you know, it had a devout following. And by the end of Destiny 1's life, it was a powerhouse. It was amazing. Everyone was playing it. You know, new people were getting it. It had, like I said, it had a very, very strong community, and it was just great. It was great. So fast forward to Destiny 2, and it's like they reverted the story now. And this is where I feel like, okay, Bungie was listening, but I also feel like Activision was taking a lot of what people were saying when it came to the story of Destiny 1, and was kind of, you know, that was something that they wanted to fix out the gate, which I'm like, okay, fine. You want to pull more people in. You know, you want to, you know, people are, you know, saying that the base story is bad, even though the base story isn't really the main focus of this game or these type of games. The story is, you know, bad, whatever, right? So wanting to improve on that, Bungie, when Destiny 2 released, the story was great. You know, fighting Gaul and the story of Gaul and all that stuff was great. I loved it. I loved the story. But when you get to the end game and when you get to everything else, the meat and potatoes of Destiny 2, it's I don't want to say terrible, because terrible is not really a good word to use, but it was more casual friendly. And I feel like part of that is because they didn't have enough time. But then I'm asking myself, why would you change? Why wouldn't you just keep the same mechanics or the same life bane of what Destiny 1 was, and just improve upon that? Because ultimately, at the end of Destiny 1's life, The only thing that you really could say that was lackluster or that needs improvement when it comes to a new game is the story. And I'm talking base story. That's the only thing. That's really, if they had Gaul, and if they did the whole Gaul story and then kept, the mechanics and how everything was with Destiny 1 and just improved upon that, it would have been an amazing game. I mean, it is now, in terms of mechanics and stuff like that, but I'm just speaking in terms of launch. At the launch of Destiny 2, it was super easy, super casual. It was super casual friendly. And I feel like a lot of that was I feel like that a lot of that was, I could be wrong, but this is my opinion. I really feel like a lot of that was Activision's doing, because if you even look in like, COD, as much as I love Call of Duty, there's certain things in COD that just don't make sense to me. Like, okay, so Black Ops 4. I love Black Ops 4 to death. Like, it's an amazing game. But it's certain things, like certain specialists, like, that are in this game that I'm just like, why would you put something like this in the game? Like, for instance, Zero. Zero is the newest specialist that they put in the game, and ultimately what Zero is Black Hat. If you know what Black Hat is the hacker ability that you had in Black Ops 1. But, they removed all that because that stuff was just terrible. Like, it was terrible to have in the game. They put an entire specialist built around that in the game that can hack not only your shields and your shields for torque, but it can hack your kill streaks. And I'm not just talking like UAVs and counter UAVs. Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen. No. We're talking attack helicopters and snipers. Like, kill streaks that take actual, like, these aren't just, get 2, 3, 4 kills and you get, no, these are like kill streaks that you need like 8, 9, 10, 11 kills to get the kill streak. She can hack that stuff and it becomes theirs. I'm like, why? Why have something like that in the game? Right? And I feel like that's not really I feel like that's an Activision doing, like, just like super easy, cheesy, casual stuff to kind of just pull these casual, I don't know. It bugs me out. So, again, looking at Destiny 2, it was really super easy, super casual. I was even disappointed in the platinum. Like, I got the platinum in like 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. But the Destiny 1 platinum was like a lot harder, man, where you had to do Flawless Raider, and you had to level up all 3 classes. But leveling up all 3 classes in Destiny 1 took a lot more time, and it was much more grind heavy. Like, those were like 2 of the biggest issues with Destiny 1 that a lot of people were complaining about, but it was more so people that weren't really playing or dedicated to the game. People were complaining that the grind was too long, it was too much, too unrewarding, and they were complaining about the story. And they really, really, really complained about that a lot. And I think that stuff really did stick with Bungie, and it really did kind of, I don't want to say it haunted them, but it definitely did. It really was a huge influence on how they approached Destiny 2, but because you can see it at the launch of the game. Like, everything in the game was easy. Like, it was just like they were giving this stuff to you. They were giving everything to you, giving you levels, giving you light, giving you experience. Even the raid was just like, everything was just easy. And it's just like, like, once you, like, it just didn't feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it didn't feel like Bungie's true vision. And they fixed it with Forsaken. Now, they fixed it. They did. Forsaken definitely is a good DLC, and it definitely is a good redeeming factor when it comes to Bungie, because they really listen to their core fan base, the people that really do play the games, and they really did try to fix things. But it was too late, because even a lot of the hardcore fan base that were playing the games, they left. Because the base game and how it was, it turned them off. And then they were doing the 4v4 with Crucible and all this other, and I'm like, what is all this? Like, what are you doing? And I feel like a lot of those influences were, again, because of what a lot of the community was saying, but also I feel like Activision was looking at what the community was saying and was, they put they put their hand down like, hey, look, you know, this is what it needs to be. And then, they added the dust and they started, getting a little too greedy with the micros, which, again, that's more of an Activision thing. Like, you could just see the Activision all around. You could just see it, and it just started becoming less and less Bungie's vision and more an Activision cash grab, especially Destiny 2. So I'm happy to see that Bungie is splitting off from Activision, because again, I love COD. Activision has a couple other games, that are pretty good, whatever. I mainly just play COD from them, but I feel like Activision as a company, they have a tendency to be a little greedy, like they do. And I feel like with Bungie as a development team, I definitely feel like Bungie is one of those development teams that they want to do right by the community. You feel me? Like I feel like they're trying to do right by the community. Like I feel like they're a developer that will keep the community's best interest in mind. Like, we've got an article that came out where they were saying that Destiny 3 is going to be much more hardcore and whatnot. Yo, Vanny Pan in the building. What's good? Yo, Sarge in the building. We needed Zero. Don't hate. Nah, I'm sorry. I got to hate on Zero, man. Hey, Zero trash. Yo, Pixel in the building. What's good, man? Bungie getting to keep their Destiny IP is a win for them, even though I never got into it. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. The fact that they're able to keep the IP, and they're able to, have full creative control, and they're able to now publish the game by themselves. They don't have to, really depend on anybody. This is where things get really interesting now, because now it's okay. We own the IP. We understand the rights and wrongs. We understand what our hardcore community want and what they don't want. We understand how we need to create the game. We understand what we need to put in the game, what we need to do. I feel like Destiny 3 will be the right game for us. I feel like that'll be the actual Bungie vision. That'll definitely be the Bungie vision that we all are hoping for. And I'm happy for that. And honestly, like, yo, take 4 years off. Take 3, 4, 5, like take 5 years if you want. Do a Rockstar. Just because I want them to get this right. Like, I want them to get this right. I don't want this to be, oh, well, we tried and we failed, or, we didn't learn from ourselves. No, take your time. If Bungie is listening right now, if they listen in the future, take your time. Take your time. You don't need to release this next year, the year after. Listen, if you need 3, 4 years, I'm completely fine with that. I'm happy with that. Like, I welcome that. Like, and I think we all can agree here that them taking 3 to 4 years is welcome. Like, I'm happy for that, because I want you to really create, especially because Destiny 3 is going to be on PS5 and Xbox and the Condo, whatever animal they're calling themselves now. Like, it's going to be on there. This is going to be a next-gen title. And it might not be cross-gen. It might just be straight-up next-gen title, which I'm fine with too. But I want them to take their time, because I want them to get it right, from story to raids to content to strikes to Crucible and whatever else they want to add in the game. I just want them to get this right, and I'm happy that they're not with Activision anymore, because they're free. Now they're free. Now they're free to really create what they want. And there's no better feeling than being free. There's no better feeling. So I'm pretty sure, although I'm also, not to kind of, shit on Activision. I'm sure Bungie is very appreciative of, I'm sure Bungie is very appreciative of Activision taking a chance. I'm sure they're very, again, not many developers have that pull where, they can come in and be like, hey, look, we got this idea for a new IP and we need this, XYZ amount of money. Not many developers have that pull. Luckily, Bungie has that pull because of the rapport that they built with the community. So, it's a great day. Yo, this is a great way to start 2019. I definitely, this is a great way to start 2019. Like, it gets no better than this. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure we'll get some type of announcements or something like that. Probably not this E3, probably next year's E3 or the year after or something like that. I don't think we'll get like an announcement of anything this year. Maybe some DLC for Destiny 2, but that's I don't see a Destiny 3 announcement happening this year. I don't. I see maybe next year for sure. But yeah, let's move on. So Sony. Man. I feel like with PlayStation, man, we all I feel like people hate when you talk about PlayStation. Sorry, I had to drink something. I feel like people hate when PlayStation does good. It's weird. I don't know. PlayStation, and I really think this isn't really a surprise to anybody. PlayStation, selling 91.6 million consoles. This is phenomenal. They about to cross that 100 million threshold. I could see them selling 10 million consoles by the end of this year. I could see 10 million being sold, maybe a little more. If The Last of Us 2 releases this year, I could see at least 10 to 15 million consoles sold, especially if Last of Us 2 releases like summertime or whatever, and then they do like a holiday bundle for 2019. I can definitely see, PlayStation being at like 105 million by the end of the year, for sure. This really isn't a surprise. Like, I'm not surprised that PlayStation sold this many consoles. I think at the beginning of the year, of last year, in 2018, was it the beginning or like middle of 2018, they announced that they were at 80 million. And then, according to Sony, the PlayStation 4 was able to sell through 5.6 million units during the 2018 holiday season, which managed to push its figures well beyond 9 million, which is more than the tech firm revealed that more than 50 million games were sold for the platform during last year. And that's just holiday. 50 million games, both hardware and software. 50 million just on the holiday, just for the PS4. Whew. Listen, that's crazy. That is crazy. So I'm happy for PlayStation that's getting to 91 million. It's not really a surprise, honestly. When you have great exclusive, great games, great incentives. PlayStation, you know what it is? PlayStation made a lot of good marketing decisions last year as well, because they had the Red Dead bundle, they had the FIFA bundle, they had the Spider-Man, exclusivity. They got the God of War that came out earlier in the year, so they had that bundle. I know they had another Call of Duty. They had the COD marketing deal. So PlayStation really had the holidays sold up, because they had COD, they had Red Dead, they had FIFA. Yo, those are 3 monster powerhouse games that was coming out last year, close to holiday time. It's no surprise to me. it's no surprise to me that it pushed them over that. And you know, to add to that, Spider-Man, where is it? It's not here, but Spider-Man sold 9 million copies, and that's within a 2-month span, because it was from September to, I think, end of November that they tallied the sales, and Spider-Man sold 9 million, which again, I'm not surprised, especially if you played Spider-Man. No one should be surprised by this. One, because Spider-Man is the largest, like, he's the most popular Marvel superhero, like comic book wise and movie wise. Like, Spider-Man is the most popular and the most profitable and the most marketable Marvel character in the Marvel universe. Just like Batman is the most profitable, marketable, whatever, for the DC universe, Spider-Man is right up there. And when you have a team like Insomniac behind, you know, the development process of, you know, and trying to revitalize and revamp Spider-Man, you know, of course people were skeptical at first, like, oh, a new Spider-Man game, you know, like, you know, we've had so many Spider-Man games, you know. I'm sure a lot of people were thinking, you know, what makes this one different? And, you know, when you start to see, like, the trailers, and you start to see the passion, and you start to see, you know, just the traversal and the combat and the story, and when things start coming together, people are paying attention, like, okay, this is the type of Spider-Man game I want. And when you play Spider-Man, yes, this is the type of Spider-Man game we deserve. We definitely deserve. So I'm not surprised. Congratulations to Insomniac. Congratulations to Marvel and to Sony for the good sales of Spider-Man and the 91 million consoles sold. Like, that's again, that's no surprise to me. I feel like Spider-Man 2, I think that's pretty much solidified for next gen. I think that's definitely going to be a PlayStation exclusive, though. So that'll be exciting to see. Exciting to hear about. But yeah, let's move on. Again, congratulations to Sony, Microsoft. Not Microsoft, I don't know. Sony and Marvel and Insomniac. But yes, let's move on. Let me increase the zoom on this. There we go. Okay. So, last topic, we're going to talk about the negative, no positive reviews for Xbox exclusives, not reviews. This is not with multiplats. This is just with exclusives, like in terms of scores or whatever. So PlayStation, they had a number of games is 407, 7 games that were 90 or higher, and 13 games that were 75 or higher, exclusives. Xbox 310, average score 70.8. Great games. They had 0 exclusives, 70 or higher. Nintendo Switch 519 games scored, 9 that are 90 or higher, 10 that are 75 or higher, and then PC 378 scored, 1 that was 90 or higher, 33 75 or higher. This is kind of, I'll admit, last year for Xbox really wasn't a great year, which sucks. You know, Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, they both released and they both were not great. They weren't reviewed well. They weren't received well by the community. They just did not do a good job with those two games. Forza's Forza. Forza definitely came in, and you know, it's a racing game. It's pretty standard as to what you know, Forza's going to do. Forza was a 93 on Metacritic. But in terms of exclusives, it's not really surprising. You know, like, these things aren't really surprising to anyone, especially people that have been paying attention to the news, and like, you know, to gaming news and gaming media and stuff like that. Like, this isn't a surprise to anybody. So, you know, having, you know, Xbox not have any game score 75 or higher, it just lets Microsoft know, and it lets everyone know that Microsoft needs to do better. Like, it literally is that cut and dry. Microsoft needs to do better. In terms of 2019, I mean, Crackdown comes out next month. There really isn't a whole lot of steam behind that, which I don't get why. Like, it's weird. I mean, I'm definitely gonna play Crackdown on Game Pass. I'm trying to think what else comes out next year. Honestly, I think that's it. Well, not next year, but this year. I don't know anything else that's coming out this year for Microsoft that I can think of. Not off the back of my head. No, I can't. But again, you know, this just lets everybody know that Microsoft needs to do better. I really feel like this generation, I think they're kind of just like over it. Like, I really feel like their focus now is just straight up next gen, which, you know, the acquisition of all these studios that they have, this should put them in a better light and in a better position to compete. Because again, this gen, it really just, the competition just couldn't stand up. So hopefully next gen, Xbox can do something. You know, all these studios, I'm pretty sure we've got some pretty good games on the horizon. I just hope that the games that they do have, or that they do release, that they're creating, I just hope that they have, you know, some good impact, and they really do a good job. Because not only do they need it, but we need it in the community, because again, competition is good. Competition is always good. You know, PlayStation doesn't always need to be, you know, it can't be by itself. Like, it needs that push, because, you know, Sony is very famous for getting big headed and, you know, getting beside themselves like they always do. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it, just because, I mean, I can sit here for an hour and tell you why Xbox is doing bad, but I'm not really going to do that, just because I feel like at this point, I mean, we're in 2019. At this point, I think we all know and understand why Xbox is in the situation that it's in. So, you know, it makes no sense for me to sit here for 30 minutes and tell you why Xbox is doing bad. But let this be a reminder that, you know, Xbox does need to do better. And as a person, you know, and I hate when, and I'm going to tangent. I hate when people say, "Oh, well, you know, Persona, you like PlayStation, so you're biased." No. Listen, I'm a gamer first, and then I'm a PlayStation fan second. So when it comes to gaming, ladies and gentlemen, gaming, you want to see everybody do good, right? Xbox is not doing good. If PlayStation was messing up, they would be getting the same treatment. Xbox is no different. Xbox doesn't get a pass or anything like that, but these things have to be known and understood. But Xbox does need to do better. Like that's very important for people to understand. It's okay to say or admit that Xbox needs to do better. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like within this community, you know, it's like some people, it's like taboo to admit that. It's taboo to admit that, you know, Xbox isn't doing as grand, or, you know, whatever their favorite console is messing up on something or whatever. Listen, guys, it's okay. You feel me? Persona's here to tell you it is okay. It's okay for you to say, hey, look, Microsoft do better. I want Xbox to be better. I don't want to go into next gen and have a repeat of this gen. Those are things that need to be getting shouted from the rooftops, because that's important. It's important for And I'm pretty sure Microsoft knows and understands this, but you also have to make these things clear to these people. Let them know, look, I don't want a repeat of this gen. If you want me as a consumer, if you want me to buy into your platform and into the vision, I need you to do better. That's simple. It's not, there is no, oh, you're negative or you're not doing this. Listen, do better. Do you not tell, like, if you're messing up in something in real life, you don't tell yourself to do better, or you don't be like, yeah, I could do better, man. Let me try again. I can do this better. Or say you're playing in a game and you keep getting beat up, or you keep getting shot at in the game, or, you know, you messing up on a level or a platforming level, whatever the case may be. You don't ever tell yourself, yeah, yo, I got to do better. I do. Like, yo, man, I got to stop playing. You know, if I'm getting killed in COD, if I get more than like 2 or 3 kills, I sit up. I be like, all right, man, I need to stop playing. I got to do better. And I'm trying to do better. The same thing applies. Like, it's weird that these values, like these things that really should apply not just to us, should just apply to everything in life. Like, these aren't things that, and it's baffling to see people kind of dismiss these type of teachings, or dismiss this type of notion, because again, this is things that doesn't just apply to Microsoft and to video games in the industry. These things can be applied to anything in life, to your job, to your education, to your relationships, to whatever. You never tell somebody, a friend or something, to do better? Does that mean that's not your friend? I've told friends tons of times to do better. Vice versa. I've had plenty of people, yo, Persona, you got to do better. You got to do this better. You got to do that better. Cool. If I'm at work and I'm messing up on something, or I need to do something or a little better, my boss be like, yo, man, Persona, I like what you're doing here, but let's clean this up a little bit. Let's do this better. Let's do that. Let's do this. Okay, cool. I'm not like, oh, I hate you. I can't. It's not about that, guys. It's okay. And this goes to everybody. It is okay to speak critically about anything that's not performing at the level that you think it can perform at. And again, that applies to anything in life, not just Xbox and not just video games, anything. If someone didn't make your food right at a restaurant, you gonna eat it? Or you gonna be like, yo, waiter, come back and, yo, y'all need to do better with this, and come, you know, take this back. I mean, hopefully you'll say it a little bit more politely, because, you know, you never want to be rude to people that's making your food. Believe that. Like, that's something you should take with you all through life. Never be rude or disrespectful to people that are making your food. Trust me. But these things apply to everything, guys. So again, I'll say it again. Xbox, do better. That's it. Feel how you feel. Trail. Vic said, I want to repeat. Lord. Oh my God, you guys are funny. But yeah, guys, that is the show. I really do appreciate you guys coming through. I was about to say my friends. When Persona Speaks, episode 26. Like I said, it wasn't gonna be that long of an episode. You know, chill day, chill night. My plans got canceled too. I was supposed to go out, but she canceled. So what are we going to do? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Persona_Mog. Make sure you guys follow Mog and Friends on Twitter as well. Links are in the description. Mog and Friends podcast every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. This Saturday morning we got obviously we got an episode. Xbox could blow if it this LOL. Yo, Tronagi. Man, nah, I ain't gonna say that, man. I mean, listen, Xbox, they're in a weird position. Xbox could blow it this E3. I mean, we'll see. You know, and again, I think that's also going to be a good indication as to how people should keep their expectations when it comes to Microsoft. Is dependent on the E3. We need to see what that E3 is looking like. If the E3 is on point, then, you know, we're good. Like, you know, if they showing games, if they, you know, showing what these studios got in the works, then we kind of can get like a tiny glimpse into what next gen holds for Xbox. But we'll see. Again, we'll see. We don't know. But yeah, my good friends, this Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's gonna be our first podcast 2019 with myself, Demigod Reviews, and Leash Capiche. First and last lady of Mog, and the Mog Gods in the building. It's always fun. Saturday mornings. Don't miss that podcast. It's the best podcast on YouTube. Also, check out my boy Upchuck Gaming, Plus Unblock podcast every Tuesday, 8:30 on the dot. Check out my boy Demigod Reviews. And make sure you go follow Miss Leash Capiche on Twitch. Yeah, that's really it, man. Also follow TOA at the Online Arcade. And yeah, that's it, guys. I really do appreciate you guys coming through. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments. If you guys got a different opinion about something that I talked about tonight, let me know in the comments. Let's have a good discussion. And again, follow me on Twitter, persona_mog. And you guys have a great night. And I'll see you guys Saturday. Peace.